Alright, welcome back to Shreddit Reviews, also known as Content. I'm here with Chad Marin, Chad Lemon, and Chad Assboy. How you guys doing today?
Whoever
Thanks for
thought I
sticking
would
to
be
the
called
subtitle.
Oh,
whoever
the
thought I'd
fuck
be called a
pisses me
Chad
off.
ever.
Uh,
Uh,
today we're hacking into the gate, which is the name of the OP in Steins Gate.
Oh yeah, it's time to talk about the show that no American should watch in 2021 because it validates all the conspiracy theories.
Ooh. All the
uh,
ones about time travel.
Well, all the ones about there being a secret society trying to take over the world and manipulating everybody.
It's called the fucking wokists. My
No,
my
the
science fiction
What's
right in
it's the
the
interesting?
scientists. The scientists are trying to take over the world. We can't listen to science. It's
wh-
evil.
What's interesting about this show in retrospect is that the whole rounder stuff, like Braun and Moeka, that stuff is fiction. However, CERN in like 2019 admitted that they did create a Kerr black hole, even though they didn't know if it was going to kill everyone or not, and that they do
Oh
have a
yeah.
time travel division. So the show's conspiracy did actually turn out to be true.
Well, the
cool.
the the conspiracy itself is more along the lines of CERN going to try and take over the world once they develop all this shit, which is doubtful because I don't think any scientist who's working on that kind of stuff really has schemes to take over the world. So,
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the show? What are your closing thoughts?
uh,
Uh,
I don't understand the perspective that the beginning of the show is not as good as the latter part of the show. I think the show is extremely consistent throughout.
Is that a
Oh,
popular opinion that
Well,
the
I've
first
well,
half is
I've heard
missing?
that there are people who don't like the first episode. I've heard that there are people who thought it was like a little bland until like quote unquote shit hit the fan or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Most people have the perspective that it's like a roller coaster. Like the first half is you buying admissions into a theme park, you go through the line, and then the second fucking Mayuri gets shot, is when you're on the ride and you enjoy the ride.
well, it's
Sure.
I can see it being a roller coaster in the sense that the thrill of it is it's got a lot of ups and downs. It does take you through a lot of different places, but the actual quality of it and your engagement with it, I feel, is always there. It doesn't subside
Yeah.
ever.
What
Except for like the very final episode because at that point the show had like already concluded and they were just like here's an epilogue.
are you talking about where they go to America?
Yeah.
Okay. Marin, what are your thoughts?
That's interesting that people think the first half is weird. Maybe in retrospect, I thought it was all great. Like if you don't have it, you can't get the emotional whiplash when shit gets weird. I have a lot. So I'll say off the bat, it's a great show. But as usual, I have a bunch of fucking nitpicks, which is gonna end up in me asking you how did this work and why was this the case later on in this recording probably.
That's fine. I figured as
Um,
much.
but and it's not even going to be like time travel like
Yeah.
nitpicks. It's like why was this their plan and why did that work?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
The the nitpick I
wait.
have.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's get through all three of your guys'
Well,
reviews.
but yeah, no, like all the emotional parts really hit. I was there and wanting to cry with Okabe, with all the the with Fairies, with fuck it, everyone else. And I liked the structure of the show. Like for a while, you're just with them experimenting, and then once they're in the loops and all that shit, and they're figuring out how it goes. I like how it goes back through what it set up with all the different details. It gave the show a solid structure, and it still took you to unexpected kind of scenarios. Great show, probably better than the Kind of Monte Cristo. I love the characters; they're great characters.
Uh,
Kurisu's like the hottest anime character ever.
Assboy,
Yes.
what are your thoughts?
my thoughts. My thoughts are, Ruka is hot as fuck. My life is best girl.
Moeka, for those of you who
Mm,
are unaware.
yeah,
I
love the
guess
theater.
I guess according to Ass Boy Flat really is justice.
What- I am on both ends of that. I have Moeka as my wife, and then fucking Ruka, however you want to say it, is on the other hand. So I'm on both ends of the titty spectrum.
What's funny about the Ruka Luka thing, just as a side note, um, it's a translation error, but it's been like they flip flop in the show, like even in the dub between Ruka and Luka, which led a lot of people to believe it was just a difference in timeline of whether he or she was a boy or girl.
Wow.
However, I did a little bit more research and found out that that's just a translation error. Even in the Japanese, sometimes they flop seemingly randomly between the two.
Well, that's
They
because
never called her.
they
Luca.
literally cannot pronounce R's.
Yeah,
They
in
pronounce
Japanese,
R's as
No,
L's.
No, I mean like in the Japanese version of the VN.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
there's a point where they call her they use the Japanese for an R. And then there's another point they use it for an L. Like it's inconsistent throughout all of the series. Like it's
So
not
the guy who wrote it just couldn't make up his mind.
Yeah, or he told somebody what the name was, and at first they thought it was with an L, so they started writing, and they were like, "Oh, maybe he said it was with an R," and then they started writing it. I don't know. It's just a weird little quirk. But continue
In
your
the
review.
in the subtitles I had, it was always with an R, so
Same here.
I didn't even register.
damn, y'all watch fucking shit with subtitles? Ew.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that
I-
surprised
I-
me because
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I watched the subbed version. I couldn't really tell you why because I do watch the dub, but I don't
It's
know.
funny because the dub for Steins Gate is considered one of the best dubs, like, for anime, period. Like, it's the prime example of a good dub. The
But I
voice
do
actors get really into it. They translate everything correctly.
I mean, to be fair, the person who did Okabe in Japanese fucking killed it.
No, the
All
American
the
guy kills it
performances in
too.
Japanese were-
They're both great.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
fucking he does the mad scientist laugh perfectly in the English one too. Like
I haven't checked out the dub.
he hits that
sorry.
inflection. Very good.
I think to me, having it watched in Japanese, I feel like it's the essential version to watch because you're in that 2010 Akiba culture, and all the lingo they're speaking, it's like in the moment, and I'm sure all the people watching it back then really appreciated it. Also, they burst into English a lot in the Japanese, which also feels like an essential part of it. I just can't imagine watching it in English and having them being like, "Whoa, epic fail, noob, fucking get pwned."
Only Daru says that shit, and it's a joke that they make fun of him for it.
Well, the lingo part doesn't occur as often as Marin makes it out to be, but they do flip back and forth between English and Japanese somewhat frequently.
Fun fact: there's a scene where Okabe is talking to that black guy, and he does the mad scientist. Yeah. So some people called that racist when it first aired. So to fix this in the dub, he does the same voice, but instead of right before he goes up to him, he says, "I know this guy. He looks kind of Jamaican. I gotta speak jive." So it's no longer racist.
Yeah, that certainly prevents the racism. Jab to the hands.
It was just a fun little workaround. I like that they did.
Yeah, so as Marin mentioned earlier, the aesthetic for the show fucking killed it. I love the designs of the characters. Fucking perfect. Make my dick rock hard. Except not really, but at the same time, I do love the characters.
So I see. So from the way you've talked, Lemon, you seem to be a fellow patrician of the Karisua's best girl.
Yes, I do believe I have to agree. I think that the best friend, I forget what her name is too much of an airhead to be.
It's
yeah,
clarified.
Mary, I think she's too much of an airhead.
She's
to
not
be
an
romantic.
airhead. It's clarified in the VN that she actually does have mental disabilities. Like Okabe calls her retarded in the opening because remember he's an edgy boy.
Wait,
she has the downs. Cool.
wait to give me even more of a reason to not think of her as a good romantic partner. And Ruka, I'm not into traps. Like period. Regardless of when the person was a female and what timelines they were a male.
That makes me want to bring something up. So when this show first came out, Ruka was fine. But around 2016, 2017, a lot of people on Twitter and stuff like started watching it, and there started becoming a big discord about whether or not Luca is trans.
Well,
If it had come out later, I think it would have been written as trans.
Well,
But
No.
it
well,
does affect the story
no.
quite a bit. Like Okabe talks about her, like, no, you're a guy.
Well, no,
I actually think it is very well written, surprisingly.
Yeah,
the way
well-
it was handled.
Well, okay, so the thing about Luca is even if it came out today, she would not, or he would not be trans, depending on the timeline, because Luca says at the end of her little thing with Okabe that she only ever wanted to be a girl just so she can, because that's what Okabe's into. Like, she doesn't feel feminine or want to be a girl. She just wanted to do it because she felt like that was the only way Okabe would give her the time of day.
Okay.
Oh,
The
the show didn't clarify that.
Yeah,
The irony of that statement is that she already, or fuck, he, she, it already looks like a girl and does not have to try hard at that at all.
Like, yeah, if Okabe was into trap, she wouldn't, have to change her gender by sending a T-mail.
But the reason I think it's well written is because I think it, from my perspective, I think it accurately depicts the sort of issues that people with like gender, whatever, dysphoria, whatever you want to call it, go through, the kind of mental things that they
I wish what
struggle
it comes
with.
through as in the show, but I guess Reborn's saying that it's confirmed. Like, we know that what he was thinking was that they only wanted to be female to be with Okabe, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
it feels like
he's
it feels
just
like
be
she might have
gay
said
and proud.
that, but-
Just be
but-
well.
he's
Just
just
be gay and proud.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that Okabe was like, if you don't have to do all that to be with me, you could just be gay and proud. Is basically a summary of what he tells her, or tells him.
It is
a her in
prevalent
that
after
timeline,
all.
though.
Just be gay. It's not a big deal. Just be gay.
But yeah,
So
that
but-
was a big point of contention for like
I
2 years.
So I have two nitpicks with the show. First of all, is sometimes I feel like the show thinks that the audience is dumber than it is, but maybe that's a byproduct of it being about this time travel stuff before anime had a lot of time travel stuff in it. Or maybe I'm just stupid in that regard. But so I feel like there are certain plot twists, a lot of plot twists and stuff that it just feels the need to, that are either obvious or it feels the need to explain more than is necessary.
Oh, can you give us an example?
And I can only imagine it being worse in the visual novel. So what's a good example here? The good example, the girl with the glasses, her being
Moeka.
a bad, Moeka, her being a villain, an antagonist rather. I got that vibe immediately.
Well, yeah, because she sends a text and then the machine disappears.
Yeah, it's like that's completely obvious. But
Oh.
one plot twist I didn't necessarily expect was Mr. Braun also being a bad guy. So
Oh, that reminds me. I'll explain that in a second. But you know the scene where Mr. Braun's daughter pushes Mayuri onto the train?
yeah.
That wasn't an accident. In fact, there's an ending in the VN where Mr. Braun dies, but you don't reset and you try to talk to his daughter to get her to run. And right under Mr. Braun's nose, CERN had already got to his daughter and made her an agent, and then she kills Okabe.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
That's a wow.
Let me
Alright.
pull it up.
You don't need to pull it up.
Why not?
but-
I need confirmation of this, damn it, because I don't know.
No, I'm just gonna take Reborn's word for it. I mean, it makes sense. I don't doubt it. It's not like this is hurting my brain to think about.
Yeah. But I'll post it in that podcast. It's just a screenshot of the VN.
In regard to Brown and Moeka, she goes to work at a store. But I feel like that conflicts with the setup that
Yeah.
he was FB and she was the agent. Like, that went back more than just a week or a couple weeks, right? It went to
Well,
like the moment where she was
No,
gonna
she
commit
said
suicide
she
as a
said she
teenager.
was working there part time, and when Okabe calls them, they said she hasn't been working there for a month.
Yeah.
So he had her get a part-time job just so she could like look like she has a legit, so she doesn't get investigated. Where does her money she get come from?
Oh, okay. It just looked like it ended things with no, they live normal lives now. They're happy. They're not secret agents. Okay, so they were still doing all that.
Secret
Mhm.
agent man.
Good.
This will be addressed.
Agent
This will
man.
be addressed more in Zero, by the way.
Right.
Um,
Right, Zero.
No, fuck Zero. It doesn't exist in this world line.
Yes, it does.
you just wanna ride that happy ending, don't you?
I do.
I
know
don't.
that Zero
well,
just makes is just to make you sad.
Well,
You
no,
can't
don't-
have
I don't
happiness
know
without
anything.
pain. God damn it!
Well, I already had the pain, and then I had the happiness.
So
I had
if
the
you
pain
remember
after.
the
You
ending,
get more
they get
pain.
a video message from the future. So that was how that happened. All the pain from the other timeline where Okabe suffers for 24 episodes, that results in him figuring out how to send a video message to the past. That is what Zero is.
And all it is just him swinging his nuts back and forth on the video.
Oh, so it's him getting old and going and living in the dystopia? Huh.
Yeah, and Karisu also
okay.
isn't there in the timeline because he thinks he killed her. And so he's like terminally depressed and he slowly loses all his friends or they die, and it's just it's really good. It's just sad and requires you to know what's going on and where it leaves off,
Oh,
which is
okay.
why
While
most
we're-
people hate Zero because
While
they
we're
watched it
dispelling
6
the show
years.
logic, I have a question about that. So the thing that made it work is that Okabe had to witness Kurisu in a pool of blood passed out. Why was it important? I fully admit that I could have just not been paying attention. Why was it important that has to witness it for the plan to go right and for him not to see any changes? And why do they immediately break that by having the thing where the Upa is green instead of metal? I know that was like to prevent a thing with the time travel papers, but that is changing the
No,
the
no, no,
events,
no.
the
In the
timeline.
first episode, she pulls out a metal Upa. It wasn't green. So
know, that's what I'm
basically,
saying.
the timeline that they were on in episode 1 was the Steins Gate timeline. They had to get back to that, which means everything had to repeat except Okabe could not send an email.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay, fine, whatever.
Which
Makes my brain
but-
hurted.
No, but that was the beta timeline that they were on in the beginning because supposedly Kurisu died, but they had to make it so that Kurisu didn't actually die, but that he thought that she died in order for the Steins Gate timeline to happen where she also
Oh, yeah,
lives.
true.
She had to live, but he had to make it so that he thought she died, so that other shit didn't happen.
Yeah.
I
So
still
that he
feel like
thinks she died, so that he does send the email that says that she was stabbed.
Well, no, because they talk about interfering with Daru's time machine. So he still sends the text message, but it doesn't get sent back in time because they also fuck with the time wave machine in the past.
All right, sure.
It's basically the idea of everything still happens the same way, but the outcome has changed dramatically. Because that's the best course of events.
Got it.
I already forgot what my other nitpick was.
So
It's a shame.
okay, so what you guys think of Mr. Braun in the scene where he shoots himself?
I think
It came out
he's.
of
Impressive.
nowhere.
I think he's a big brawny guy who shot himself.
Haha, shut the fuck up, Sour.
Did you guys enjoy that arc?
It's like half an episode.
Enjoy is kind of a strong term there, my man.
Well, okay, because it
I
also
don't-
involves the Moeka arc of him like fighting her in her house and then getting the phone.
Fair, but the Moeka arc part of it was like an episode and 3/4 of an episode.
Yeah.
But the Mr. Braun part of it was only like a quarter of an episode. It was like, by the way, I'm an antagonist. Let me kill this lady and myself.
Yeah,
bit
the
of a-
implications of it are really huge for it to just be a little scene, and then they don't really discuss it. Whatever, they discuss it in Zero, apparently.
It's a bit of a sidewinder.
Well, yeah,
just get out of
because
nowhere.
the CERN agents, while they were the biggest threat, they weren't actually the problem, because the problem was Mayuri was fated to die on this day at this time, whether it be
Yeah.
CERN agents or she just has a heart attack. So at that point, Okabe already figured that out, and he didn't actually care about CERN, which is why it was only a third of an episode, because he just figures it out, figures out how to get the machine, and then he just doesn't give a shit anymore. He's like, all right, now I could just move on.
Yeah, I know. It makes sense in the context of the show that it doesn't. It's not given much time. It's just kind of funny that it's just like, by the way, I'm evil.
I do love how they hinted at that by having his daughter kill Mayuri. Like,
Yeah.
during a rewatch, you can clearly see her running and, like, jumping onto her to push her. But the way the show frames it at first makes it seem like she just tripped, but then it cuts to their feet and she did not trip. She is planted on the ground.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be a big hint, like, oh, maybe she and Mr. Braun are both heavily involved. But that doesn't come up for another 10 episodes.
I never got the vibe that the daughter was involved.
Yeah.
I just wasn't surprised.
I remember something else to complain about, but this isn't really much of a thing to complain about. It's that fucking Okabe is insufferable for the first like 5 episodes, and it makes sense because it is well structured around him being that type of person. He needs to be that person in order for the rest of the plot to like work. God, it's so fucking annoying.
I will say this. After you watch Zero, you will love the first 5 episodes of Okabe. And I
know.
mean that. You will think
I-
back and think, God, everybody says that.
I cannot stand him being a junior.
You
Neo.
will,
It's
you
so
will
awful.
change completely. Everybody
I'd
does.
rather him
No.
be the goof dick that he is. I'd rather him be the goof dick that he is instead of the sad, depressing, crushed man that I am. It's
Because that's what he is in Zero. That for the first half of Zero, he is depressed. He is going to school. He's a college student. He starts telling the lab members to fuck off. He's got school. He starts like ignoring all the time travel stuff, and it just makes him into a crunched, depressed man, like Assboy said.
Yeah.
And it really makes you appreciate the side of him that was goofy and silly and more childish.
more lifelike. Like
And
he
not
had
only that, but
or not a personality, but
Well,
like a soul in him.
the reason I cannot stand his personality in the beginning is because it makes the show so much slower than it needs to be. I swear you could cut out like 2 episodes worth of content of him just fucking around and yelling.
I think they did the best they could with it because I don't know. You really
Well, I
see
can
through it
I
for
can
one-
only imagine how
also-
bad it would be in the visual novel.
like I
never
said,
wanna
in-
read that fucking thing.
in the
even edgier
VN,
in the original novel.
it's way different in the VN because he's not a goofy asshole. He's an edgy asshole, and it's very different.
Look, Reborn, you had me read Chaos Child, and I found that main character to also be insufferable, so I doubt it would be any better.
It's just the
Make it-
difference between goofy and silly, between extremely edgy and pessimistic, while putting on a goofy front to entertain your friends.
Like when he starts time traveling and he's broken, I think it really works in his benefit that he was an asshole because he can just like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's-
call people by their real name, and that's pretty convincing that you're
That's-
at least somewhat serious.
that's what I mean. is that
And it
the
pays
rest-
off because he's really infuriating. Like you have the chance, like wow, that Kirisu would like still be talking to you after the fucking bullshit you've been putting her through, and he's just like digging his heels deeper. For the first few times that they argue, I didn't get the impression that they were close, but people seem to be implying it really soon. They're like,
look,
wow, you guys are so close when you argue, but not for the first few times.
That's why I'm in Kurisu crowd or whatever you want to call it though, because like man, she's the only likable person in the cast in the beginning. She's
I like
the
Mayuri.
only she's the only person I can sit there and be like, man, I can understand you. I can operate on your wavelength. The rest of these people are fucking insane.
So what you're telling me is you don't like the Japanese.
Sure, I don't like the Japanese. I don't like the maid cafe. I don't like the channeler. I don't like the retarded person.
I love that stuff. I thought this show
I
was a
don't
great.
like the
Oh.
trap.
I
I
do
don't like
absolutely.
the person who can't
Patronizing.
speak through anything besides texting.
Don't you talk shit about my wife.
Okay, I do like Daru's kid. I do like her.
What the fuck is her name?
Suzuha.
Yeah,
Yes,
Suzuha.
Suzuha. I do like her. So there's
Suzuki.
that.
I
Yeah.
think like it was definitely written by somebody who knew what was going on. They make it tasteful in the sense that yeah, it's stupid anime bullshit, but like everybody's loving it.
Well,
Everybody's
Like
having a
it's the
time.
best version of stupid anime bullshit you'll
Th-
find.
they
but at the
hint
same
at it
time,
from,
it's
like,
just
They hint
fucking-
at that they hint at the fact that he's her father from the episode she's introduced. By the way,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you got that vibe.
Well, yeah, it was
Also-
like it was
So-
fairly obvious. Another
Reborn, I
thing
give
of
you-
what I mean by the plot twist not being
I mean,
smart.
honestly, it's a coin flip because you only got two men. You have Okabe and Daru. It's one of the two. Figure it out.
No, it could be
Like-
just some random motherfucker.
Yeah.
But who's her mom? Reborn, I gave you my theory. I'm pretty
her
sure.
mom shows up in Zero.
Her mom,
Is it
her
Doaka?
No, no,
her mom shows up in the last episode of the show. Okabe just kind of tails her into the middle of the desert.
yeah. So she was actually a character in the VN, but they cut her because, well, she's Suzuha's mom. She's just a cosplay friend, and it's just kind of a neat thing. Like, oh, that's Suzuha's
Oh.
mom.
But
But
she would be
Make that
totally
right.
superfluous.
yeah, so so they cut her from the first one, and then she's introduced in Zero.
It's a little underwhelming, but okay. Also,
But you
nice
expected the
that,
show to
we
be
got
smart.
that,
Oh, yeah,
the
that-
show's pretty smart.
I was
that
gonna
show-
say.
that Daru was hitting on Suzuha, like outright, just like we should have sex in this time machine.
Yeah.
That was-
Well, that's a very
good.
Daru thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
what
I-
else is the guy supposed to do when he doesn't know that that's his daughter?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Damn. Okay, so we're talking about how Kurisu
Hold
is
on.
the hottest woman, but like Suzuha and the Spanx, bro. Like,
Wait,
Yeah, Suzuha's the one
did
that
you expect
Okabe-
her- Hold
Suzu-
on. Did you expect Daru to do anything else, even if he knew that it was his daughter?
You're a sick fuck.
So 2 points. Number one, the girl that Okabe considers raping all the time is Suzuha.
oh, huh.
And
Whoa.
Sexy.
one of the parts that he considers raping her was just after she found out that Daru was her father. So it's even more
Oh.
fucked up.
Why?
I guess.
You didn't have to say that, you know.
Why?
Okabe
That's
is
what
very
we're here for.
Okabe is a
God.
very different character in the VN. It's
As
basically
I've
the
been
same. So
told
in the
multiple
show,
times.
Okabe is a very depressed man, and he puts on that front of confidence, a false bravado of Hoen Kyoma, and fucking
Owen.
he puts on this false bravado for Mayuri to make her happy, and that's what that is. They explain that in the show, but in the VN, instead of him being a depressed bastard that puts on a front, he's an edgy asshole bastard.
So, like,
Yeah.
Newgrounds personified.
Yeah. I do want to circle back to something Lemon said earlier. Lemon, you said that the show acts like the audience is stupid sometimes. The VN is
Sometimes. But
the
like, I
VN
think-
is stupid because, well, the VN is a lot different because it actually gets into the physics side of things. Like it goes over all the time travel theories that are currently humored
Oh boy,
by.
give me even more of a reason to fall asleep while trying to read it.
Well, Karisu explains it, and she's also shit-talking Okabe the entire time. Like, since you're an idiot, let me explain. And it's kind of funny and good
Nice.
like that. But
Well, it just reminds me of you just reminded me of the time I played the Somnium Files, a different sort of VN, in which the worst part of that visual novel, because the rest of it is good. The
I
worst part of it
think
is this moment where they give you like 6 examples of multiple world theory, and you're like, guys, I've heard this in like every other piece of fiction. You do not have to tell me again what it is. You do not have to keep giving me examples. So I think part of the reason I felt that the show thought that it thinks that the audience is stupid. It's just a byproduct of, at this point in time, there being so many works of fiction that feature time travel, that feature theories akin to many worlds like Steins Gate, that it's you feel like it's beating you over the head with a rock. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I've heard this before. Please shut the fuck up. I can figure this out on my own.
Kind of do feel
So
like that.
so fun
But
fact.
lemon, I have a counterpoint. Cat girl booba go wee.
I don't agree with your counterpoint. But to the
Yeah, get fucked.
Steins Gate's credit, it is perhaps the most interesting version of that theory. Like when you think about the idea that there are these oh god, my headphones didn't charge all the way. Fuck.
Uh-huh.
When you when you think about the idea that there are these multiple strands that intersect at like different points, but like are individually them, and even if you like change something within that thread, you would probably go to a different world line, but you would still end up getting into the same intersection points. Like, I like that whole idea that these ropes are like spreading out and coming in and spreading out and coming in.
Yeah. I was also gonna add, first of all, it's the same publisher between fucking Steins Gate and AI.
Wait, 0.5. Oh no, yeah, that would be Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah.
Do what now?
Spike Chunsoft made the publishers of Danganronpa, the 999 series, I the Somnium Files, and evidently Steins Gate. They produce so many fucking visual novels,
I thought you were talking about
and
Nitro.
most of them are mid. Most of them are mid at best. Which I love Danganronpa, but realistically, it's kind of mid.
Check out Xanael.
No.
It's good.
Never heard of it, but no. We're supposed to be talking about Steins Gate.
I want to add
we
I want to add another thing too. When Steins Gate came out, the point of the Science Adventure series, it's called Science Adventure because they take current theories in the field and they add a little like a major leap to it to base. So it's science fiction, but it's as close to our reality as it could get. Like, for
It's got
example, in
that
Steins
creator
Gate.
magic in it.
Yeah. So, like, for example, Steins Gate, they talk about curved black holes, which at the time was just a conspiracy theory, but that's now been, proven true because CERN admitted it. But yeah, through a curved black hole, theoretically, you might be able to do something like that. So there's a leap, but it's not that big, and that's one of the more interesting parts of the series.
I mean, the real big leap is being able to send messages back in time through a microwave, because I seriously doubt any microwave is producing the amount of power necessary to do something like that.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know. I got 1100 watt microwave. That's pretty good.
so
I got some
how
power.
it
That's fucking nothing.
how it works is so in the originals timeline, Daru is a super hacker, and he actually has already hacked into CERN. Like, he just did it for fun in his free time, and he accidentally connected the phone wave to their systems, which is why the initial text message got sent back.
Okay.
So it's not like through the microwave, but yes, the point I was trying to make is it's science fiction, but they ride a line very close to reality, which is what makes it fun.
Yeah, they
Sounds
didn't do
clever,
that in
yeah.
Chaos Child. It was just kind of retardation the entire way through.
Actually, no,
the
it
microwave
did do it in Chaos Child, dab.
I don't know, man. Chaos Child was just kind of retarded.
Well,
I don't know, man. I don't
Microwave
read
to
these
begin with.
books.
well,
I don't read these
to
books.
get off on a tangent, the thing about Chaos Head is it's all about the Diuric Sea, which is a sea of infinite energy that rides alongside our universe. And because it's a sea from infinite energy, if you were somehow able to access it, you could turn that energy into literally anything.
What is this fucking Final Fantasy VII?
Well, you'd probably need to do some bullshit to do it. And well, by the way, you pronounced that name wrong. It's D-Rock.
D-Rock. Okay. But
Shut
yeah,
up.
Chaos Head is what if people, for some reason, just had the innate ability to access the Derek C without even realizing it. Like their brains were connected to it for some reason.
This is seriously just Final Fantasy VII.
Reborn. How did they
Dude,
get
la
the
la
microwave
la
to
la
begin
la
with?
la la.
Huh?
How did they get the microwave to begin with? I don't remember if that was explained.
Oh, it was just a microwave Daru had opened and reprogrammed to take
Yeah,
place.
like that's like asking why
With
I have a
what goal?
microwave in my house. We have a microwave to cook food.
Lemon,
Like
okay, with what goal did they set up the microwave like that? Is
Oh,
what I'm
they just
asking.
wanted to make it so, like,
you can
if they...
remote control it.
Yeah, they wanted to make it so, like, say they wanted chicken nuggets when they're about to leave for the store. They'll put chicken nuggets in the microwave and then on the way home send a text message to cook them up so they could get home and wow, they're cooked ready for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And
They would
they
turn
since
fucking
they
gross.
hacked into CERN.
Yeah, Daru hacks into Stern in his free time, and he
And
accidentally
then
connects it to them while they're doing a black hole experiment, which is how the original black hole gets through.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, and then that turns into time travel. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, this show, I love it. It's my favorite show anime of all time. It's really
See
good.
that?
I hate that so there is a difference between the director's cut and what you watched, Marin, and they shift some scenes around, like the scene where Okabe gropes Luca and is like, "Where's the penis?" That happens almost immediately after in the director's cut, if I remember right.
Give me the
Yes.
penis.
Yeah, it happens like as soon as he goes back in time. He's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
but
look, you're in this room. What's up,
Oh, yeah.
dude?" And they're like, "Why you calling this dude or why you calling this chick a dude?" And he's like, "But it's a dude." And he's like, "Get over here. Where's Booba? Where's
Show me the
penis?"
clam. Show me the goddamn clam.
And then
That
and
was
then she
a
and then
kind
she
of
starts
consider-
crying.
gripe I had with the show is that they
Yeah.
don't test their shit out, especially with time travel scientists right there. You'd think they want to, and I know like there's no point in writing things down because it's going to get changed up, but like for them to want to keep an internal kind of consistent timeline of what's going on, that they'd at least try to chart it out for the audience. Lemon, I don't know what you were talking about, that the show thinks the audience is stupid. I felt like there was a lot you had to keep in mind. Well, I guess you were watching the director's cut that has things in a different order. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
With
The
version
director's
I'm
cut.
watching, you had to.
It was
don't know.
it was
So,
it was,
basically,
it was logically structured.
Yeah, so that's the director's cut. But basically, Marin, what had happened was you watched what was originally shown on TV, and what had happened was when they were making the Blu-rays in Japan, they had some complaints that it wasn't structured as well. There were some scenes that didn't make sense to be later, so they restructured it for the DVD and Blu-ray release. That's the director's cut. It also cuts the opening out of almost all the episodes.
Good riddance.
I should have watched that then. Yeah, because that's a lot of my complaints with them with the characters. not
I had kind
doing
of
what they-
forgot
what you
about
think they would do.
I had kind of forgot about the director's cut because it's not well-known knowledge. There are just two versions online, and websites typically have one or the other and don't specify which is which.
What
I
about
didn't know there was
the
two different versions.
what about the OVAs? I know there's Zero, which is like a direct sequel, but I was linked a lot of
The OV
extra stuff.
the
Is any of it
OVAs
good?
the OVAs are typically okay.
Are they just fan service?
Like the OVA that Lemon watched is they go to America. You find out
There's
that
an OVA.
yeah, that was an OVA, but it's included in the director's cut as just another episode.
It was an episode length OVA.
Yeah,
Cool.
but for Marin, you missed it. They kind of imply that everybody has some form of reading Steiner, and
They do that in the show.
Chris remembers her dreams of Okabe and them kissing, and he meets her in America, and then they get together and fuck.
Yeah, he's just better at remembering things than everybody else.
And I feel like-
basically it.
At first, I wanted to call it a cop out that they do get to remember what happened in the other timelines because it takes away from the emotional weight of erasing it all. But at the end, I'm kind of happy. I'm glad they remember it because that's better.
Yeah.
For them.
Well, the reason I'm glad they remember it is because I feel like it's not as. I feel like it's a little more stupid if it just he has a special power.
Well,
Like I don't like that idea.
yeah, no, Okabe.
This isn't a shonen.
Yeah, Okabe has... So, this is a sequel to Chaos Head, and the reason that Okabe has it so strong is because of something that happens in that game.
Hmm.
Like has a tertiary effect. It affected Okabe as a kid and made him sick.
Gotcha.
Um,
It does kind of suck for Mayuri though. She has
Oh,
terminal
that's that.
illness.
That's that fever. Oh, right, because he mentioned, "Oh, I had a fever." Is that when I got my Red Steiner, bitch finer?
yes.
Red Steiner
Um,
bitch.
so how the science
Yeah.
so how the science adventure games work is they are usually related through tertiary connections, like some event causes dominoes to fall that sets off the main story in that one.
Yeah, why don't we just review all of the science adventure visual novels and
I
talk about how the guy apparently hasn't written all of them yet, even though I have only read most of Chaos Head and didn't like it.
Um, the science adventure animes are all bad, except Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero.
I was about to say, but Steins Gate is like pretty good.
Steins Gate is known to be lightning in a bottle because they also expected it to flop like the Chaos Head anime, which is considered one of the worst animes of all time.
Oh, wow.
Is that the one that you showed us?
Yeah, that's the one I
showed me
go to if you want to see the worst anime of all time.
Where it's like 9 animes clammed into one episode.
Yeah.
I go to Garzy's Wing.
Mm.
Let's do Garzy's Wing for Shreddit reviews. aka
Garci's
content.
Wing is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Steins Gate.
Let's just review the Berserk dub outtakes.
Fucking yeah, I love the series. Kurisu's best waifu out of every anime I've ever watched. She's just perfect.
No,
Shut up, fucking Mocha fag.
get fucked.
Hey,
Yo, sucks
man.
for Mayuri though. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
she
she
did it all
doesn't-
for Okabe.
Yeah, she doesn't understand what's going on.
She doesn't get the penis.
Oh my god, I
We'll
kind
fuck her
of
now.
want to talk about a scene from Zero, and it's kind of spoilers, but not really. That really just makes you want to cry.
Well, don't worry about
Well,
it. I'm
then
not gonna
I'll
watch
watch
Zero
it myself.
anyway.
God
No
damn it,
one
and
is
it's gonna
here
make me
watching
sad
this
about
live stream.
Mayuri. too.
No, we're gonna watch
So-
Zero in 2 weeks. It's going to be my next show choice.
Oh God.
So, how many episodes is Zero?
12, right?
Zero's 24.
Oh
Okay, so if you're gonna
God.
make me suffer for an extra 24 episodes of Steins Gate, then I'm gonna find something like 40 something episodes for you to watch. Fuck you.
But we're gonna split that off
One
into two.
Piece.
That's
Oh.
fine. That's even better.
Oh, I only chose 12 episodes. Why can't you guys
Damn.
get on my wavelength?
Could have gotten in when
Because-
it was good then. Fuck you.
I'm like actually. I put too much thought into my choice. I should have made you guys watch some fucking garbage ass shit like Kaze no Stigma.
What did you guys think of Susaha committing suicide in that one timeline? That was
Can you also explain that to me? I'm not entirely sure what happened. She like
She's a
got
failure. She
intercepted
became
by
depressed.
females,
so
and
she
she got like her head hit, and that gave her like Alzheimer's or something.
well no what happened was Daryl didn't fix it right because of course how could he fix it right? It's a fucking time machine and he just
Yeah.
So she goes back in time, and the time machine just fucks itself when she gets there, causing it to crash. And she like slams her head and gets amnesia from it.
Oh shit.
And then
Oh yeah, that whole plot thread.
yeah, and then she gets her memories back when she's like 80. So she writes the notes that's just "I failed" over and
Oh,
over. And then they
It
talk
was
to
like
Braun, and
it was like when she was 50 that she got her memories back. Not 80.
That's right. I forgot about that plot line.
Yeah, no, that blows. But hey, they made it so that she could time travel just fine.
It's
think,
really weird
right?
how Braun is like. He may be around her, but he's still a decent guy. They play it off very tastefully with him being a villain because he may be around her, but he, as he explains before he shoots himself, he was saved by them and kind of forced to be one. So like he doesn't actually care or want to be one, and if they don't give him orders, he doesn't do anything. So even though this weird person that seems like they might have been a time traveler, he didn't give a shit. He gave her a home. He helped her survive. Braun is...
And he had the same name as the lady that raised him. That I'm sure he thought something of that. They didn't go into it. Funny.
It's the devil who cares,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I guess doesn't in this point.
Well, I mean,
Mm.
like, maybe it's like one of those Batman v Superman things where it's like they just happen to have the same name, and it's like, what weird coincidence.
We
Right.
both
Except,
have man
except,
in our
except,
name.
unlike Batman v Superman, them having the same name didn't fucking change the entire plot line. Save Martha!
Well, no. So in the future, when they change timelines and Sousa goes back and then kills herself, because it's a new world line, I don't think Braun remembers having a part-time assistant. Like, I think it was already a separate timeline at that point. That's why Okabe feels a shift. And they see a note on the ground. Well, no, it is the same timeline. Okabe doesn't feel a shift. They just see a note on the ground.
Yeah, it's the same timeline.
So yeah, Braun probably never put two and two together. Or he might have. He just might... Because, yeah, if he doesn't have orders, he'll do nothing about it, because he doesn't care about CERN. He just wants to live his life, and he has to follow orders when given, but if CERN doesn't tell him explicitly to do something, he doesn't go out of his way to help them. So even if he figured it out, he would have just ignored it.
Charge headset.
Which is probably why he didn't give Okabe too much shit when Okabe was talking about Suzuha, the old lady.
Did a little bit because she committed suicide in the one timeline, and then not in the other. And he's asking Brown about it. He's like, "Oh, did she die because of suicide?" And he's like, "Fuck you! She died of old age, you asshole." That was good. Well played.
Yeah. I think Braun's just an underrated character.
Yeah, Braun is great. He's even better in Zero.
Don't make fun of my boy Braun. I'll raise your rent.
How about you raise your gains, bitch boy?
Oh, my gains are plenty risen. Risen like the dough that came out of my oven.
Oh my
the other
god,
day.
actually, no, I got something wrong earlier. I said Daru had already hacked into CERN. That was incorrect. Braun, working for CERN, had all of his computers connected with them already, and Daru was accidentally accessing that same network. And that's why the phone wave worked, because fucking Braun was a CERN agent that was connected to them and in their systems.
That does make sense, as opposed to Daru just being like a super engineer despite only being like maybe 20.
Yeah, it is explicitly explained that fucking Braun is already connected.
Like some random fat ass channeler who goes to fucking maid cafes all day is somehow a super engineer. Yeah, right.
It could happen. Crazier shit's happen, man.
Who do you think hackers are? They're just like unsuspecting weirdos.
Yes,
never
but
see
those
people
those
inside of
hack
a
but those hackers aren't engineers. They're hackers. They work with software, and they're on
what do you
they're
think
on
of-
computers all day.
Have you not heard of a software engineer?
That's different from
How is that different, sir?
It's different from the kind of engineering that Daru does, like say on the time machine.
You build shit and then you break shit down. That is engineering.
So
Yeah,
I thought
you make the things go.
There's different, like the kind of engineering he was doing in the time machine is more electrical engineering than it is software engineering.
That's such an important
That's
detail to
Yoke-
figure out. God damn. We
That's
really need to
Okabe's
get to the
part,
bottom of what. So I thought Ferris's wish was to get rid of cute culture. It turned out it was just moe culture, to bring back her dad. I thought she was a base dad that wanted to cleanse Japan and save the world.
I don't know why you would have thought that. It was obvious to me. It was obvious to me she wanted something a little bit more than just she even said she fucking loved the moe. Anyways,
I thought she regretted it. I thought she was having a basic Joker moment. And when her dad is there, when the timeline shifts, that kind of spells that out. But
I just remembered my other nitpick though. The latter half of the show is predicated on Okabe having to undo these D-mails in order to get back to the timeline that works. But in the process, he has to destroy these people's most fervent hopes and wishes. Why couldn't he have just changed the way that the D-mails worked such that they got their wish while also working his way back? Like, for example, Ferris is probably the easiest.
Be in the timeline.
Well, Ferris is probably the easiest one, because Ferris, in order to save her dad from being killed, is like, haha, or not haha, but your daughter has been kidnapped please send ransom. As opposed to being like, hey, Dad, could you please, like, come home and ignore work? Why couldn't you have just told him that
No,
as
no, 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 no.
opposed to...
You missed a fundamental part where they say that the reason the D-mails are bad is because every time they send a message through Bronze systems and into CERN gets a flag that fucking something's happening with their core black holes, which makes the rounders more aggressive because that means they're closer to figuring stuff out. That's also why they stop attacking as often. Like, the more D-mails Okabe undoes, the more D-mails Okabe presses the undo button for, fucking
Undoes.
they don't attack for like another week, but that's because they aren't as aggressive because not many D-mails have gone through.
Let's just ignore the fact that undoing the D-mails, in order to undo the D-mails, he had to send D-mails. So if anything, it should have made them more aggressive, but, you know, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, what's the logic with that, Reborn? Because I think what they want is to change it so that... No, sorry. The thing that would set off a flag is that a shift in the timeline happened, right? Not that the D-mail was sent? Or am I wrong?
I think you might actually be correct on that one.
Yeah,
See
because
that?
if it was the
Yeah,
D-mails
that
being
makes.
sent, then their plan would have fallen through the floor from the start.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, by undoing all the D-mails, he does have to rip the happiness away from all his closest friends.
I just feel like there should be some sort of option, some sort of timeline in which you can have your cake and eat it too. I mean, there's potentially infinite timelines. Like, surely there's a way to find that timeline.
But all of them have that point where, fuck, what's her dumbass name?
Souza.
No.
Mayuri dies is what he's trying to say. And I'm saying surely there is a timeline in which you are able to jump to another one in which everybody is happy. Like, surely that exists.
Which is the one that they're trying to get to, where everybody's happy and...
Well, not everybody is happy though, because Ferris's dad is dead, and what's his name?
I mean,
Ruka
everybody
still
in
wants
his
to
friend
be a
group
fucking
is still
female.
alive.
Yeah, they're all still alive, but that doesn't mean they all got what they wanted.
Well, tough titties, nobody gets what they want, bitches. Fuck.
God, Sour Lemon.
I think
Why
the
are you
big...
so bad at reviewing anime?
So basically,
You
how
nitpicky fuckwagon.
how she explains it with the rope things is there's a beta and an alpha attractor field that basically a point where all the timelines have a single event that coincides between all of them.
Yeah.
And the Steins Gate timeline is directly in the middle and isn't affected by either attractor field. Which is why Chrisu dies in the beta. That's what Steins Gate 0 is, them going through the beta timeline, and in the alpha, Mayuri is destined to die. So yeah, there's those 2 points, but because they're attractor fields and he's trying to get away from those, even if he tried entering a timeline where both of them were alive, it would probably get pulled into that attractor field. One of them would die, and Ferris would have her dad.
No one wins. Everybody still loses.
We just need to get back to the status quo. That's all it's
I
all
don't-
about.
I don't
In
buy
anime
it. But...
and in real life.
I don't buy it, but it does work because it does give reason to sort of resolve the issues that each individual character has. It makes them all have character arcs, so it's fine.
Except Daru. Daru doesn't get a character.
Yeah,
Fuck Daru.
well, Daru's character arc is realizing, fuck, I get to be a dad? I don't get to be a virgin?
He did get an experiment. It was like the second one, but it just wasn't... It like didn't change the timeline because it wasn't a strong enough suggestion or something like that, but I forget what his text was.
Change underwear at 11 o'clock. You'll thank me later.
Oh yeah, he tries to send a D-mail to get optimal play against Ferris in some tournament he went to, but she's he's so good at the
sucks.
game. Yeah, she's so good at the game.
Sucks so
He
much.
just loses either way.
Well, I mean, I can easily rationalize that one, because it's like if you change your strategy, then your opponent is going to change theirs too. And if Ferris is good at the game, she's just going to win regardless. Like, it doesn't matter if you change your strategy, she's just fucking going to win.
Yeah. What'd you think of the twist that Moeka was a agent? I mean, I know you said you saw it coming, Lemon, but you didn't see her working for CERN or Braun or any of that.
What? What do you mean? I did see it coming. I didn't see Braun. I didn't see him being FB, but I did see it coming that she was working for CERN. Like it was obvious. There was no. It wasn't surprised. I was not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I was only because Unga Bunga Brain focused on Booba, so
It looks like you need to work on that bungo brain of yours.
I
get
just
fucked,
wasn't
Power.
sure if the show was gonna go there, and then when it did, it's like, all right, here we are. That's fine. It's time travel. They're all gonna be happy. Reborn told me they all find the optimal timeline, so I'm just gonna eat my popcorn and not worry. But no, even then, a lot of heartfelt moments. God, this I didn't cry, but I was definitely like there with Okabe.
Yeah. It's you'll cry during Zero for sure.
Right.
Nobody gets
Yeah.
nobody gets tortured 0 out of 10.
I will say, this show did inspire ReZero, which is why I refer to ReZero as a watered down Steins Gate.
I can
in
see it,
ReZero,
but
isn't the guy by like episode 4 having this meltdown? This like, I can't believe that I've been through so much.
well,
Oh,
he's
God.
having a meltdown every other episode. Like,
And
Yeah.
then here's Okabe, like 2 weeks into seeing all his friends die over and over. Oh man, what a Chad!
I-
One of Okabe's best characters
ReZero is
ever.
fundamentally
all
different
of
though
anime.
because ReZero is more structured around this is a time travel puzzle that I have to unravel and solve. Whereas with Steins Gate, it's I have made a mistake just purely in the fact that this time machine fucking exists, and I have to go through. I have to backtrack a whole lot in order to fix it. Um,
That
Yeah.
sounds like a puzzle in itself.
Well,
Yeah.
no. What I'm getting, it's backtracking, is what it is. It's backtracking versus a puzzle. It's fundamentally different.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know, but the point I was making was that they both have a suffering protagonist that's kind of obnoxious, but Steins Gate does it so much better. And the only reason I like ReZero is because it is watered down Steins Gate. It's more of the same fix.
Hmm. That's true.
You really got to
I
get
do
off that
Oh,
have-
needle,
I
man.
I like
Have this,
ReZero because
lesser, kind of less strong weed waiting for when I run out of my good weed, and I know I'm gonna hate it, and I know I'm gonna not feel anything, and I'm gonna be smoking even more constantly to chase that high. But it's
I-
there. It's definitely available.
no, I think ReZero has more interesting mysteries and puzzles, but Steins Gate just is better.
What out of all the shows that we've watched together, I know we didn't review Speedgrapher, but we all watched it. Between Speedgrapher, Count 'em Money Fuck Ass, and Steins Gate, which is the king?
What?
Anamani.
I'm between Count of Monte Cristo and Steins Gate. Just because I
Oh.
just watched Steins Gate, I might like it more in later, in a few years when I've processed it.
I like Count of Monte Cristo,
Oh,
despite
God.
its flaws. I like it.
I think
I would probably rewatch the Count of Monte Cristo more likely.
I love
but
I love how we keep calling it the Count of Monte Cristo and it's actually called Gankutsuo.
it's called the Count 'em Money Fuck Ass. But I will be asking you after Zero is your opinion the same, because I feel like it will put both of you on the side of Steins Gate is better.
I can tell you right now that I
doubt
will
it.
probably be telling you and myself that Steins Gate Zero isn't canon, and that's going to be my thesis statement for the whole review.
And you would be wrong.
I'm gonna go back and watch that old Digi video from Digi when it was
It's
Digi.
deleted. I was thinking of watching it.
Isn't there an archive though? Doesn't
Is
somebody
there a
have
complete archive?
Doesn't somebody have a Digi archive? I'm sure you could look up Digibro Steins Gate Zero and it'll show up.
But it's also just
Probably.
spoilers for the show, which is
Yeah,
also why
I
I'm
would
gonna watch
recommend
it.
we can watch it together after you finish Zero. But
Fuck.
the main point The main issue is that Digi just says he doesn't feel anything for the characters. He doesn't know what's going on. But again, that's because Zero came out 6 years after the original, and it
I
expected you to be on the same page.
I seem to recall him saying something about it feeling like fan service as opposed to its own fucking show, but I don't know. I don't know.
What I remember is that he was like, "Oh wait, it's more Steins Gate, but it's just to make you sad about Steins Gate, and it's been so long that I'm not even up to date." Yeah. It was mainly just like a great. Thank you for making me watch my favorite characters do this.
But he hated it. He gave it like a 1. So
Yeah,
it
that was
certainly wasn't a thank you.
I know that. I know, Lemon. Please learn to read sarcasm.
So what? So when he accidentally kills Kurisu in episode, I think 23, what did you guys think of that?
Based.
I it wasn't. I could. It's not entirely surprising. It like makes sense that would
Like, it crossed my mind. Like, cause
Yeah.
the blood curdling scream that he hears before finding her dead, it was pretty obvious that was Okabe, and I guess that ran through my mind a little bit while I was thinking, no, he probably stabs her, or like, yeah, they do the he killed her at some point.
Yeah,
but
like
they
it's
go
not
even one
it's
step
not
further.
it's not an unprecedented twist, which is why it's not entirely surprising. I do like what they did with it though.
There is a movie that is not canon, and it has very good Okabe and Kurisu scenes. Like, they have good chemistry in the movie. But the movie is complete ass. It isn't canon, and it gets a few things about the original show wrong.
Is it like live action Mirai Nikki?
No, but it's just as bad.
That was funny.
Um,
Didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Netflix is making an adaptation of Steins Gate.
A live action one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, just like it's making live action One Piece. When's that going to come out?
Never.
They reported like 2 months ago that they've started filming.
Oh boy. Yeah, but the post production is going to be what takes ages on something like One Piece.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to know how bad the Netflix movie is going to be for Steins Gate, I would like to turn your attention to the Blu-ray release in America for Steins Gate, which says on the back of the cover, "Have you ever wondered what Donnie Darko mixed with the Big Bang Theory would be?"
Oh no fucking way!
What
You're
is
fucking kidding me.
What is Donnie Darko?
It's a
time travel
it's a-
story. It's kind of edgy.
Yeah.
It's like if you were a teen in the '90s, you were like, man, I'm.
it's
dark
Back to
and
the
depressed."
Future but edgy.
It's also nothing like Big Bang Theory, like even remotely.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Only one of the characters is actually smart in Steins Gate, and that's Makisa Kurisu.
Oh yeah,
The other ones are just kind of bullshitting their way through it.
yeah, Okabe especially. Okabe is not smart. And in the
What
scene
about
where
the little lolly girl? I
oh,
can't
that's
remember her name.
Zero. That's Zero.
Oh.
There's a lolly in Zero.
Oh boy.
It's
Oops.
No, but
It's
the-
like
the
I said
show, like,
earlier,
has-
Assassin thinks flat is justice.
One thing I'll give the show credit for, actually, I'll give it credit for a lot of things, but at first it's a little bit unsure. Okay, they're working on science shit. Is Okabe actually smart, or is he all just
He
like
is a
cheaty? And then
college
we have the
student.
debate scene, where Kurisu's clearly putting him in her place, and like the show's establishing really well. Oh no, he does not know what he's talking about in an academic setting.
Okabe just fumbles into things, and Makise is there to ground him and put him in his place, and also help him out.
To be fair, I'm sure in that like forum thing, Makise, like the kinds of science she was probably talking about was at the very least upper level bachelor, if not higher.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's
I-
where in the VN she goes over like physical theories, and she gets into fucking string theory and all like particle physics, and it's like really sciencey. And Okabe's like, I have no idea what's going on. Me reading that, I have no idea what's going on, but she obviously does.
That's a good effort. I kind of wish I'd see. I don't want to read the VN. I don't want to see Okabe be like an edgy asshole. Oh, thank you.
I don't want to read the VN because it's probably
Oh.
boring.
Oh,
It's probably a fucking snore fest.
Marin, if that's how you feel, they actually remade the VN in Steins Gate Elite, which instead of having still background and character art, it has scenes from the anime playing in the background, so it's a fully animated VN. And they also
that
cut
just sounds. That
they-
just sounds more obnoxious.
They
That
also
sounds
cut
like
out
anime with extra steps.
they also cut out all of the edgy Okabe shit. So they make
Reason-
his
What do you think of
personality
that?
the
Is
same
that a
as in
good
the
thing?
show.
So
I mean, it's not. So it's good and bad. It depends on which Okabe you liked more. Do you like an edgy asshole Okabe who puts on a false bravado of confidence to make Mayuri happy, or do you like edgy, pessimistic Okabe that puts on the same false
No.
bravado for the same reason? It's
I
whatever
already got
one
one.
you like is what you'll enjoy reading about more.
yeah,
I think
but
I get
it's
more
just,
than I can handle with the
it
with
just-
our Okabe.
putting animated scenes in the background of visual novels sounds like a fucking abysmal idea because then you have this looping animation while you're trying to read text and that just sounds distracting.
Maybe it's not looping. I don't know.
Well, if it's going on while you're trying to read, if it's connecting different segments of the book, then, like Assassin said, it sounds like anime with extra steps.
So how
then what's the point?
So how it
doesn't
works-
work in either way.
So how it works is like if a character is talking, it will be a still, but the character's like talking and has a little bit of expression, and like they animate like them going to places when there's no text on screen, and then they stop at like if Okabe's in his inner thoughts, they'll stop at whatever he's looking at, and whatever he's looking at will be slightly animated, and he'll have his inner thoughts, and then a character might walk on screen and start talking. It's done in a very decent way.
Oh,
It's not
It
obnoxious.
sounds like anime with extra steps.
It is.
It's even funnier the third time. I'm still laughing.
But it's like it was made because a lot of people don't like edgy Okabe.
What do you expect? It's made in what, 2010, 2009.
Yeah.
When's
Oh,
the
fun
debut
fact,
of
it
Edgy
was
Lemon?
Fun fact, Steins Gate was an Xbox 360 exclusive.
What the fuck?
Uh,
Not PC or
Go figure. Microsoft's picking up
So-
all the trash.
So what had
Uh.
happened in 2009 was that they didn't have Chaos Head was never ported to the West because it didn't do very well. The anime that they had used all the profit from the VN flopped. Right? So Chaos Head was dead. Most of the people hated it. However, Microsoft approached the studio and was like, hey, everyone in Japan hates Xbox. They call it American trash. We will pay you money to make a game for the 360, and it will be a year exclusive. And they were like, hell yeah, brother.
My mom just sent a message to me and my siblings for an article that is why emotionally intelligent minds embrace rule of writing in reverse. I don't think I'm gonna read that.
What you just said hurt me.
What I don't even know what rule of writing in reverse is.
But yeah, if
No.
you own an Xbox 360, you can get Steins Gate, the original VN, very cheap because it was an Xbox exclusive.
How the fuck does shit like that happen? I don't.
I just explained how that happened.
Well, no, I'm saying like, hey, let's. Why the idea of a fucking VN be Xbox exclusive? Like, who? What rail did this guy do?
Because, like I
That was a
said,
good idea.
Japanese people hated the Xbox back then. They considered it American trash, no good games. So Microsoft approached a few VN publishers and tried to get exclusive VNs to get Japanese interested in Xbox.
Yeah, but why did they send Steins Gate to the wolves?
maybe it's a time travel plot. Maybe
Oh,
maybe
shut
it
up.
hasn't. Maybe
Shut-
it's only been set in motion.
Shut the fuck up,
We'll see.
cheeky bastard.
Man, Fairies was cooler when she wanted to kill the Japanese and not save her dad. That's my review of the show. 10 out of 10.
Moeka is my wife.
If she was like, if she was like not brain dead.
I'm sorry, Lemon, but Kurisu is my wife, not yours. Die.
I'm sorry, but I don't have waifus, so you can have her.
You're boring.
Cringe.
You're
Like
boring.
I don't care.
Do we have any more thoughts about Steins Ghetto?
I didn't take notes this time.
And tonight else, you took notes last time.
I always take notes, except
That's-
this time because it's in like I literally that's the last thing I did. Well, except for that stream.
That's how you
Oh,
properly review things, Howard. What the fuck?
I don't take notes. But
Oh,
I don't take notes in college either. You know, I just don't do it.
Yo, speaking of binging it all in one sitting, this
Oh.
show I can't imagine having it watched it on a weekly schedule. There's not even that there's so much to keep track of. It's just like it is a roller coaster. You want to be there for all of it.
You will
Not to
forget
mention
things if it's
sometimes
not
you'll.
constantly on you.
Well, I mean, I feel like sometimes you'll just feel like it's wasting your time. Another article, guys. Pupil size is a
Sometimes
marker
I
of
feel like you're
intelligence.
wasting my time.
I am
Ah.
Oh, that's
wasting your
articles.
time.
What are you, my mom?
fucking yeah. I give the show a solid 9.5 towards a 10. What about you guys?
What are you, IGN?
So that's that's an IGN 9, but it's like an IRL 6. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too true.
What do you guys rate it though?
I give it a -9 plus 10.
Okay.
Nice.
I give it a Kerr black hole out of the universe.
I think I gave Gunkutsu an 8. So I'll tie it with that because I'm not sure which I even like better.
Aspboy and Lemon, what are your actual non-meme scores?
It's a 9.
Okay.
It's a 8 murdered airhead dumb bitch girls out of 4 depressed crushed okabes.
Yeah. Yeah, Kurisu gets a 10 out of 10. That's one.
So when I was watching,
Creature gets an 11 out of 10.
I watched an episode or two with Marin last night, and when he started showing me, he was like, "Mayuri just died. Let me go back." And I was like, "No, I've seen Mayuri die enough times for one lifetime. You don't have to."
I got a big plate of curry, and I wanted to get back into the moment. Man, they really just fucking kill her and give you the time
Yeah.
to soak it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just,
And then do it again.
Have you
Fucking
ever
shot.
seen a show take the mentally challenged character and just kill them over and over and over?
Right?
Well, I mean, I've read of Mice of Men, but it doesn't repeat it in there.
The audiobook
you-
got stuck on repeat, yeah.
It got stuck in my cassette player.
Tell me about the rabbits over and over and over.
Blam, blam, blam.
Fucking combo, 10,000. Yeah.
Common opinions of the show is that the first half sucks and the rest is amazing. I think I agree with Lemon. It's pretty consistent. Like if you go into the show with the wrong expectations, like they'll tell you it's crazy, it's fucking mind games type shit, like Evangelion, which I have seen some people suggest it has. The first 12 episodes are not that.
It's a slow burner for sure.
Yeah. But it can really hit those highs.
Right up into your face.
That scene with Okabe and Kurisu in the rain got to me the first time I watched. That's a really good scene. Because that's
On
when
top of the building where the time machine crashed?
yeah, because
If it was-
he has
if
to.
I-
She has to accept at that point that she has to sacrifice herself.
If,
Yeah.
if only it was raining right now, I could go get soaked to the bone.
What a terrible day for rain.
What an excellent day for rain.
I am glad that he does end up fucking her in the OVA though. That's good.
Nice.
Because
Oh,
a lot
like
of shows,
canon,
a lot of
have
shows
sex.
will blue ball you, but Steins Gate was made has a sign, and it's not meant for kids. It's meant for college students. That's their audience. I remember reading that a lot of people thought it was weird at the time that it didn't focus on teenagers. It focused on college student, which was weird for anime.
How was that?
Does Fate focus on teenagers and that's why it has sex in it?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't
It is
know.
refreshing though to get a show that isn't about high schoolers as far as slice of life, you know.
Well, I wouldn't call it a slice of life.
You're right. Yeah, no, good point.
I mean, I don't know what kind of life you've been living, but it's a slice of my life.
For the first half, it's nice. But they're
You know
just
me,
hanging out
I'm
in
always
the school
pretending
setting,
to be somebody else
and they've like been past
and
that, you know.
and
Nobody's
talking
being
to
that
myself.
autistic.
I'm on the run from a secret organization that I know exists.
I think all the shows we've covered, even back through Tone Kent, I think they've all been like younger adult kind of thing as opposed to high schooler, no?
I wonder
Yeah,
if that's
something
because like 80% of anime is for fucking high schoolers. Wait,
Right.
hold on. I misheard what you said.
Oh
Damn.
no, I think Outbreak Company he was a high schooler, right? Probably.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, whatever. What
Okabe
was
is
the
a
first thing? Oh, right. Speed grapher.
yeah.
That's just regular adult, not even young adult.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think of Okabe's Hyo and Kyomato?
It only got better as it went on.
It only made me more and more flaccid every time he did it.
Like the pose that he strikes, or like what do you mean?
Like just the like how he randomly does that to cheer people up. He just, does the pose,
The
does the yell.
the only time it made my pee pee hard is when Kurisu did it.
That was really good.
Oh
I like her
god!
pose.
Yeah, it was a good pose.
And I'm the
You
weird
know,
one for like
I-
seeing a whole bunch of anime titty in an apartment that's like dressed partially nude.
something that's funny is when I was first watching and saw Kurisu, I thought she was wearing pants, but then as the show went on, I gradually realized more and more. No, she's wearing shorts and like stockings.
Those with the belt and like the shorts and the cool little boots. Oh my god.
Yeah,
It
and
is a
the
good
jacket
character
that she
design.
doesn't wear over her shoulders.
You gotta
There
get
is
back into
a
making cosplay so that
there
when I
is
get a
a
girlfriend, I can
there
make
is
her
a good
Kurisu
reason,
cosplay.
despite the show being 10 years old. The fact that Kurisu is still like if people make a top 10 waifu list, normally Kurisu is like in the top 5 easily. And like if you go to cons, a lot of girls still cosplay her.
Because
Top
it's a powerful character and a simple design that anyone can do it.
Yeah.
That's how
top
you know that you wrote a good character.
She looks
top
good in
10
all sorts of styles too. Like I was looking through dojins and like
Yeah.
her thing with the what does she wear? The cardigan with the little things holding it up on her forearms or whatever you call it.
Yeah, she
top
looks
10
good.
waifus. Number 10, my penis. Number
Um,
9, my
her design
penis.
is a little weird. The things that hold her cardigan up are just belts. She just has belts on her arm.
I have some of those. They're not they don't have like a buckle. They're just these like it's like a
Designing
slinky but really tight and it forms a ring. It's made of metal.
Is it like a corset?
It's like a thing bartenders use to keep their sleeves up. I used them
One of
in
those like
culinary
suspender
school.
clips.
They're not
suspender?
clips. They're just like they're like rubber bands, but metal, like a very tightly wound slinky.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
You don't know what a slinky is?
Just imagine a rubber band, but made out of a loop, like a spinning loop of rings of metal.
yeah,
Wire.
I've just never seen it. I guess
Yeah,
I didn't know they existed.
I have a habit of showing every single new friend I make Steins Gate.
Roll
Like a-
my
Hmm.
friends. Yeah, and
Maybe we'll be friends.
and I've
again.
been-
I think
I've
that's
been-
a good goal to have.
and I've been blowing Reborn off for watching Steins Gate for a while now.
Dude, I've been blowing Reborn too. High five.
Oh yeah.
Hey, dang it! The freaking microphone doesn't pick up the clapping.
All right.
God
Do
damn.
we have any closing thoughts on the show?
Thank you for recommending it.
No problem. You'll
Uh,
thank me again when you watch Zero. Dab.
I don't think
It
I
was
deserve
good.
to thank you because you're forcing me to watch Zero, which is another fucking 24 episodes.
Well, it's
What
like
do you guys?
Zero. So Aspway has seen Zero. Everybody that I make watch Steins Gate, I always follow it with making them watch Zero, and not a single
You have to.
person has actually disliked Zero if you're coming fresh off of Steins Gate.
Look, I'm gonna watch the entire thing at 2 times speed, and nobody can stop me.
You are a literal sack of shit, and I hate you.
Oh, feelings mutual.
I couldn't bring myself to do it at times 2 speed. I was really in it and enjoying it.
Mm.
So let's fuck it. So good show. Everybody gave it a 10 out of 10. That's base. I
No.
think that's the first time we've all unanimously given a show
I
a 10 out of
did.
10.
I didn't give it a 10 though.
Shut up! You gave it a 10. Lemon, what's your recommendation for next week?
Oh, it's flip flappers. Time to flip my flap, you flappy flips. Get some
All
Yuri
right.
on.
We will see you all next week with a review for Flip Flappers. See ya.
Flippity flappity flip flap 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 flap.